You like your new water bowl? Good boy. Good boy, Bubba's. Oh, you gave me a paw? Oh, thank you. Good boy. Good job.
So, and we are back. All right. So you've rented for a while, right?
Yes,
And now you own.
I do.
And
I just moved in. Like the house is a disaster. Sorry, everybody.
yeah. But have you ever had a situation arise where you've been propositioned to pay for your rent?
Not by my landlord.
But you've been propositioned in other ways? Okay, we're just gonna gloss over that. But we are going. So the point of that matter is you have not been propositioned by your landlord.
I've never been propositioned for my landlord if I needed help with rent.
All right, let's go into this text thread.
Hey, Mike, I have a question for you.
What's up?
So I just wanted to know if it was okay if I made rent payment a week late this month.
Yeah, that's fine with me. What are you short, money-wise, or? I only ask 'cause we can maybe make some kind of deal for this month if it would help you out.
A deal? What do you mean?
A favor for a favor, sweetheart. You consider your rent paid and you do something for me.
Like what?
Well, I'm thinking you're a good-looking young woman. Maybe spread them legs for me and let me have some fun and you get out of paying rent for a month or two.
Ew, are you freaking serious? You are married and old enough to be my father.
It's just an offer, like 10 minutes of fun for me and you get some free rent in exchange. It's not a bad deal at all. I've done it with tenants before.
Okay, so this starts off like really like what's the word? Like it starts off really nice. Like the landlord is kind of like he seems really understanding, right? Like because he's like, yeah, that's fine with me. Like he doesn't even say like, hey, I'm gonna proposition you first. It's like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then the next message is, well, like how short, like maybe we can like work something out. And I think in this moment, you could take it as like for me personally, my red flag radar wouldn't have gone up because maybe it's going to be like, oh hey, you can do some maintenance work or some like lawn care, you know what I mean? Like it can definitely go that way.
And I love it at 11:03 mark, right?
Yeah, so like it makes some kind of deal this month to like help you out. Like my
Right.
brain doesn't automatically go, this landlord is gonna ask to sleep with me. My brain goes, oh, like maybe there's some form of labor that's around the complex that I'm renting out or the house that I'm renting out.
11:05 is when everything, in my opinion, my red flag went off when he called her a sweetheart. Now, granted, I understand that
See,
older
that's my red
generation.
flag. My red flag doesn't even go up when sweetheart
Okay.
because for me personally, I live in the South now. So everyone I get called, I'm literally at the library today, I got called mommy. No, not mommy. Mammy? Mama. I got called something along that line. Didn't affect me because I get called it all the time. Sweetheart, honey. Like in the South, that's just a thing. So for me, that radar still wouldn't have gone up. I would have been like, oh, do you need help planting tulips or something? But then
No one calls me.
obviously,
No one
huh?
calls me sweetheart.
Oh well, you don't get out much. You gotta actually go out in the world to be called sweetheart.
Wow.
But no, for me personally, it wouldn't have been a red flag. However, I guess if I was still living in Wisconsin, maybe that radar kind of like would have went up, but at least being in the South, it's so normal. Like literally you go to Waffle House and someone's like, "Oh, honey, what do you want for breakfast?" Like it wouldn't faze me. So I definitely would be so naive like this person. Just throwing that one out there. But he could have even asked nicer. Like, he could have, like, instead of being like, you're a good looking young woman, why don't you spread your legs for me? Like, even if you're gonna proposition someone, I feel like you could have been a little less raunchy, you know?
Not trying to justify what he did was right.
No, he's completely in the wrong, 1,000%. But like, he could have asked in a non-raunchy way. Like, either way, everything about this is creepy and it's gonna come across as creepy. But instead of being like, I don't want you open up, like, it could have just been a little less aggressive. But no, this is really disgusting and honestly like unsafe because now it's like, what do you do in that situation? Because they're your landlord. They know where you live now. They have a key to your place. Most landlords have some form of like way to access where you live. Like, that's terrifying to me. And then you don't want to stir the pot and like go find the wife, because obviously this dude is married. Like, you don't want to like go find his wife, because then what, you're probably going to get evicted now. Like, there, what do you do? Like, this person now is probably so mentally and physically trapped, because it's like, if let's say this person was like, you know what, yeah, screw it, I'm gonna sleep with you this month. That opens up, so like now it's gonna be like expected, you know what I mean? And if you say no, now you put yourself into that really crappy situation of unsafe, and you might not even have a place to live.
Right. Also, let's talk about the aspect that this is illegal.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, we can't, you can't, that is prostitution, I think. But that, yeah.
Can
Which
you
I'm pretty
imagine can you imagine the landlord letting you live there because of how you looked, with the thought process of, well, I might be able to get with you?
Was she, I wonder if it was like they filled out an application or whatever to do with renting, and immediately this person was like, "Oh yeah, she's good looking. She can live here." Like, so like right off the bat, it was already a thing.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine being in that position?
I, yeah. I mean, society sucks, and I think it's very stereotypical that a lot of, maybe not, I don't think stereotypical is the right word, but a lot of people use looks for their advantage, whether it's meant to or not. And like, that's like the way the world works. And that's really, really, really crappy. But I can't imagine just like looking how you look and minding your own business and someone being like, no, I'm going to proposition you to do that. Because I would feel, I'd be moving. I would be moving. I literally would be moving.
Oh, I can guarantee you that this person did move.
But it's like, what if they couldn't afford to move? Like, today's society, you have to have like 2 deposits, like your blood type, maybe your firstborn child. Like, it's so hard to rent. Like, I really fear for this person's safety. I'm not even trying to be over dramatic. Like, I can't, because you can't legally change the locks, because your landlord has to be able to like enter your place to do maintenance and stuff. Granted, legally they have to give you a certain amount of like notice and what have you, but like I would just, yeah, I'd be so scared. What do you do? Like, let's say you're really scared, and or you were like really in a bad spot financially, and you're like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do it this once. Fun fact, it's not gonna be this once. That's not how people like this work. Like, you're either now you're like you're just gonna be propositioned all the time. And then what, and then you say no. Like, you do it the first month, you're really stuck, and then your life gets back on track, and the second month's come around and he's like, hey, let's do this, and you're like, no, I'm good, I have the rent. Then what happens? Because now you're turning him down. Then what happens? Because he could be a type of person that's like, well, now I'm going to make your life a lot harder, and I'm going to bust into your house or something. Like, what, you're so trapped no matter what situation you decide to put yourself in.
And then he goes on to saying, at the end of everything, is he's done it with other tenants prior.
I like, it's probably, which is probably bullshit. You can bleep that out, put a dolphin name. But like, it's probably BS. Like, it's 1,000% not 1,000%. 99%, I bet you that's BS. I bet you it was like something that he just felt that if he said would make her feel not wrong about doing it.
No, make her feel wrong about doing it.
No,
Oh.
no. The fact that he was like, oh, well, it's okay. Like, I used to do these with my other tenants. That's like coaxing her to be like, oh, it's okay that you are giving me this to have less rent. So he's trying to make her feel like it's okay. Like, this is a good decision. And like, I'm a safe person.
So in the comments of this post, a lot of women were actually saying, I would take this deal.
And yeah, okay, so like jokingly, I feel like, yeah. But if I obviously was in that situation, like you can say anything on the internet. You know what I mean? Like if I sent this to my friend and this happened and I sent this to my friend, my best friend would probably be like, well, why didn't you do it? But it'd be like a joke. Like no one would ever like, I don't think there are probably people out there that would take that deal. And that's on them, and I'm not judging them. People have been in I have been in poopy situations, but me personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't at least do it for the amount. I'm sure at least like, you know what, you're gonna cover my whole rent for the year because if I'm doing this once because you are married and not gonna blackmail you.
That's what a lot of people said, actually, that they would blackmail the landlord because of this situation. So
And like obviously that's probably all talk. In reality, if it were to happen to you, it'd probably be different. You feel differently. But yeah, it's kind of fun. Like the thought process is there. Like, oh well, if I just blackmail you, maybe I can get away with whatever, which is also illegal. Just throwing it out there.
yeah, all the way around it's illegal. So definitely get your lawyer involved if this ever happens and protect yourself, and then highly suggest you move.
Yeah, I would probably in that situation be calling some form of authority right away and just kind of figuring out your options.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else on this one, or can we move on to the next one?
Wait. Hold on. I just realized she said that he was okay. So not only is he really creepy, he has to be way older than her because she says you're not only is he married, he's old enough to be her father.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Well,
that's like double bad. Like I feel like not that it would make it right, but it'd be a little bit more like, haha, if your landlord was, I don't know, close to the same age as you and not like you're 20 and your landlord's like 65.
yeah. Well, now, granted, we don't know the age range. For all we know is she's 18 and he's 36. Not saying that's okay anyways.
Right.
But like, there could be, she could be 18 and he could be literally, like you said, 65 or something like that. So
Also, can we talk about how he's only going to last 10 minutes? Because that's what he says at the bottom. Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of fun. That's all he needs. Because he's old. He can't last longer.
well, you do what you gotta do, I guess. I don't know. I don't have anything to say on that.
Okay. To the next.
All right. Block and move on.
Block and move on.
All right. We're gonna take a puppy break and go on to our last post.
Oh my goodness, what a little ham sandwich. Oh, my precious baby. Oh, who's a good, what a good boy, the bestest boy. Oh my goodness, look at this baby.
All right, and we are back. This next post is actually from a group I'm in for cosplayers.
I was wondering if anyone is interested in meeting up at Anime Expo to take pictures and then hook up after. This will be my third time attending, so I'll be all alone on Saturday. I like only girls, and I'm curious to know if there is any event at Anime Expo for singles to meet and get to know each other. I'm in my 40s now, but I am interested in girls starting at age 18 to 24. Any suggestions would be great for an event singles and loners attending the Great Anime Expo, since many of you will be attending with friends.
This is so bad. There's a lot to unpack here. This is the one that I'm most upset about.
Hold on. Let me say what what the general consensus of in the group I'm in.
The 153 comments.
No, yeah, it's something like
Okay.
that. So the general consensus is most of this isn't bad. It's not bad to shoot your shot, throw a wide net out there, and whatnot. The issue that this guy has is that he's in his 40s and his age range is 18 to 24.
Okay. Can I?
So that is the general consensus of the group. All right. Now, granted, your opinion can be different than the group. So why don't you tell us your thought process on this?
Okay, so my first thought is he a photographer? Because he's saying that meeting up to take pictures. Because if he's a photographer and then he's already asking people to sleep with him, like, to me, that's already cringy.
I personally do not know if he was a photographer. I do know that he no longer is in the group and he is banned from the convention.
There's a lot of things to unpack here, but I would like to pretense before I say anything that cosplay conventions is like can be a weird thing, because I'm not going to lie to you, at every cosplay convention there are parties, there are room parties, there are orgies, there are drinking, there's things like that if you are of age and you know the right people. So I can understand where the people were saying like, hey man, you shoot your shot, because normally any anime or any convention group that you're in, cosplay wise or anime wise, there's normally like, oh hey, does anyone know if there's any room parties on this date or what have you. So like that's a culture in on itself. So I think in that context, that's why people were okay with like, oh, he shot his shot, that part. I think if he was in a different group, like let's say he was in Knitting Grandmas of America and all the grandmas met at Mondays to knit at the library, and he was asking if any grandmas were available to bone after they were done knitting at the library, I don't think anyone would be like, oh, kudos to him, he shot his shot. So I just want to start with that. It's weird though that it's not like, does anyone want to hook, like, let's take pictures and then hook up. That's weird to me. And then yeah, the age thing of being in, I'm telling you, I'm in the cosplay industry. When I am 65 years old, I will probably still be going to cosplay conventions. So I'm not shaming anyone if you're older and you're going to these things, but I'm going to shame you if you are in your 40s and you're specifically looking for 18 to 24. Why? Like, why? Like that's a huge age. 18, like we no. At least start at 21. Like at least have them be able to legally drink. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just wrong. That's just wrong.
Not that that's any better.
No, it's not better, but I'm just saying, like, at least, like,
Yeah.
why are you starting at 18? It's Predator vibes, and that's probably
Yeah.
exactly why he got banned. If he probably didn't put this age thing in here, he probably wouldn't have got banned from the convention. It would have just been like, ah, ha, ha, you gotta shoot your shot, because like I said about like the convention culture that's going on, maybe some people would have thought he was creepy, but he wouldn't have been banned. The fact that he was like, no, I'm specifically looking for these ages, that's why he got banned.
Well, I actually do not know the reason why he got banned. This is when I started delving into it, the post got deleted after he got banned because it was a dead conversation then. But yeah.
Okay. I mean,
but granted, that you might be 100% correct. Is this might be the reason why he's banned?
yeah.
Because that is predator vibes.
Yeah. And asking if like there's anything with singles and like what have you, that's like a normal question to ask, because if you actually go to a lot of these conventions and you look at the panels, there will be a lot of 18 plus panels, and sometimes there is a panel or two or some form of thing that's like a singles meet and greet, or like a dating game show thing I've seen. So that's also not an uncommon question to ask. I just feel like
Right.
he went about asking it all wrong.
I'm pretty sure that the Anime Expo, they have banned all kinds of dating panels
Okay.
and stuff like that because of
Things like this.
situations that have arisen in the past.
Yeah, yeah. I just know, I think it was well, I don't want to say what cosplay convention I thought it was, but I remember specifically going to a cosplay convention and there was some form of dating thing, but that was like back in my day, and I've been cosplaying since like what, 2017, so probably a lot of things has changed.
Mm-hmm. So, anything else on this that you would like to go over?
I don't I think I covered everything. I just
I totally understand. All right. Overall, over all of these conversations and whatnot we've had, is there anything that you want to say as an overview?
I don't think so. I think I
All right.
I think I said all I gotta say.
Well, my overview is always be safe, no matter what gender you are and what you're doing. Be aware and just take steps to prevent situations that could happen.
Wait, I do have something to say. I have something to say. On the safety thing, if you are a model or a photographer or you're just getting into the industry, my number one thing that I always tell everyone who's getting into it is, even when you bring an escort, always make sure someone else has your address that you are going to or your location. If it is a hotel room, which actually happens quite frequently and it's not creepy, well, depending on what situation, but I have done a lot of hotel room shoots because I'm a traveling model, or there's travel photographers that want to work with me in the location that I'm at. And obviously, like, I will not open up my house or anything. Always make sure that you're giving someone like the room number as well. Just make sure that someone knows where you are and then check in. Even though I have an escort with me, I always message my mom every hour on the hour just to let her know, like, hey, I'm okay. She knows where I am. She has the address. And if I don't check in with her within a certain time, then she can, help. And it's good to be safe, and it's not, like, don't think you're too over the top, because you're probably not.
That is fantastic advice.
Thanks.
All right. I will be putting Stephanie Ildes' information in the description. Thank you for being here again. And we are going to close out with a final puppy clip.
You want to go for a walk? Get in the house. Frost, get in the house. Don't just stare at me. Get in the house. Have you decided to be a husky today?